Money is a problem. I was working in a restaurant before it, and I lost the job.
You mean like you want me to try to go back to work too also?
If you're not gonna work, then maybe you're gonna lose this apartment.
But then you better figure out something.
We have not seen Jenny and Sumit on our TVs in a long time. What have the two been doing then? They have provided us with a unique glimpse into their lives today in the most recent episode of 90 Day Diaries, which is incidentally completely self-shot. Additionally, it appears that there are other new things in their lives besides Sumit gorgeous new hair.
We recently moved to a new and very nice apartment.
Yeah, that's a big upgrade from our old house. These are our security gates.
It is nice. Do not get me wrong, it seems smaller, but it also looks cleaner and more modern than their previous location. As you may remember, Jenny and Sumit were currently in Thailand with David and Annie during the final season of 90 Day Diaries. Additionally, David was exerting pressure on them to purchase an apartment in Thailand. However, it turns out that concept was a waste of time. Jenny was not as engrossed in the moment or as eager as Sumit to relocate to Thailand. She enjoys living in India. When she is 65, she has no plans to go to another country and start again. At this point in her life, comfort and stability are the only things she wants.
We have an age gap of 30 years.
It never bothered us.
Yeah, it never bothered us. Like, I like older women. They know a lot of things, especially in bed.
Oh, I assure you, Sumit, we are fully aware of that. He has been quite explicit about how much he likes older, more seasoned Jenny.
And then the bed would it was like,
Oh yeah, the headboard was hitting the wall.
yeah, headboard, and even the bed was making choo choo.
I suppose it is comforting to know that the concern that many of us harbored, that Sumit may become weary of an older Jenny, does not appear to have come to pass. They appear to be as in love as ever, if anything. Indeed, the couple has been rather active on social media, expressing their love for one another. They are continuously praising their relationship in beautiful, genuine posts that are dedicated to one other. In light of this, what is Jenny and Sumit's secret? Considering the high number of 90-day fiancé couples that either have marital issues or divorce, how have they seemed to overcome all obstacles? Do you have any advice for us, Sumit?
In order to be in a perfect marriage, the man should just listen and say yes, never say no, and keep saying sorry.
Yes, I can attest that this is absolutely true because I am a contented married man myself. Hopefully, Sumit shared this knowledge when he traveled to Jaipur to attend the wedding of fellow cast member Rishi. As you may remember, Rishi married a new woman named Maria instead of his 90-day fiancé partner Jen. Returning to Jenny and Sumit, what specifically caused them to reduce their workforce? Why did they relocate to a smaller apartment from their previous home?
We moved because the place we were living earlier, the rent was keep getting higher and higher.
House is getting.
Yeah, now we have moved to a gated society, more secure.
It makes sense. In the best possible way, their previous location did appear rather dilapidated. They now have an additional edge because of this new location, which is a luxurious gated compound in comparison. Jenny's life will be much easier as a result. As you can see, Jenny still lacks the independence Sumit desires. She appears to rely heavily on Sumit, even though she has only mastered a few basic Hindi words. However, the new location they are staying at has a ton of facilities, including grocery stores, pharmacies, salons, and even a gym. Everything seems easily accessible now that it is all inside the compound's gates. That will undoubtedly make Jenny's life much simpler. The issue now is that ease comes at a price. The cost of this new upscale establishment is high, and it appears that Jenny and Sumit's financial situation is not great right now.
Money is a problem. I was working in a restaurant before it, and I lost the job.
That is really unpleasant to hear. As Sumit informs us, he is making every effort to be a decent husband to Jenny. He is currently unemployed, but he truly does not want to lose this apartment. That is a really intriguing statement. Before this, I worked at a restaurant, he explains. However, as you may remember, Sumit had just launched his own restaurant when we last saw them, which was again in 90 Day Diaries. I'm not sure if he is talking about it or if he shut it down and moved on to another place where he lost his job. However, it is clear that the restaurant and the endeavor were a failure. He must now start over from the beginning. He has returned to his job search.
I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a job. I'm trying my best to get a job, but anyone I talk to, they want a trained chef, and I'm not.
This is really classic Sumit, is not it? His ability to think things through is not exactly the best, is it?
I didn't plan for it.
Is not he trying? However, He is attempting to obtain employment in a sector for which he is not genuinely trained. He obviously has a strong enthusiasm for food, do not you think? And his efforts to work in that field are commendable. However, if he is seeking for companies that need chefs with training, it could be helpful if he went to culinary school or something similar to acquire some qualifications. He ought to at least attempt to broaden his repertoire. He informs us that Indian food is the only cuisine he truly knows how to prepare. I am trying to argue that if he received a little more training, it might actually improve his chances of finding employment, particularly if he truly wants to stand by Jenny. The intriguing point to remember in this situation is that Jenny initially did not want Sumit to work. I take it that she wanted them both to be living the more laid-back, retired lifestyle, and we witnessed how their relationship was greatly strained by Sumit's genuine desire to go for employment in order to support the family. Jenny wished that he did not work. It is intriguing that he is now stating that they might lose everything because he now found himself back in that situation without a job. Put another way, Jenny's pension and her aspirations that she would be able to support them jointly are not real. Even if she wanted to, she could not afford this. We now join Jenny, who ironically has gone out to spend money they do not have, after leaving Sumit at home, cold calling restaurant after restaurant in an attempt to get a foot in the door. She is currently on a brief shopping excursion.
I'm trying to be more independent. I decided I'm going to take a tuk-tuk, well, an auto, we call them autos here, to the mall.
Jenny discloses that in the 5 years she has lived in India, this is her first solo car excursion. Is not that crazy? In India, this is a highly common method of transportation. She is undoubtedly still not as self-sufficient as Sumit would like. To make matters worse, we now find out that Jenny has yet to master the language, which may be due to the fact that she rarely leaves the house.
I've been in India for 5 years, and basically Sumit is the only person that I interact with. But recently, I've grown close to someone else.
Isn't it a sad thing? It must be a lonely life for Jenny because she does not really have any friends of her own, and she seems to spend her time at home waiting for her husband to return from work. In light of this, it is fortunate that she has made a new buddy. However, who is it? This new friend of hers is who? In a shocking and unexpected turn of events, it turns out to be Sumit's mother. Who witnessed that? It is obvious that a lot has changed since Sumit's mother threatened suicide, rather than accept Jenny as her daughter-in-law. As you may remember, we did find out that Jenny had finally been accepted by Sumit, his mother, when we last saw them. However, that shaky relationship appears to have significantly improved in recent years.
Hi, look who I am. I'm good. How are you? कैसे हो? मैं ठीक हूँ. मैं भी ठीक हूँ. हाँ, ठीक हूँ.
That might have been the extent of Jenny's language skills, in my opinion. Who cares, though? Simply put, it is good to watch these two women get along at last. Take a peek at their smiles, for example. The two appear to have bonded despite the linguistic barrier, which is a surprising development.
Over the last 15 months or so, we've slowly gotten to know each other. I finally have a friend. This is my mommy G.
I understand that it is a show of respect, but does not it seem amusing that she is referring to a woman younger than her mother? Remember, these two women did get along rather well before Sumit officially told his parents that he was seeing Jenny. At one point, Jenny lived with them in their home until they discovered she was seeing someone named Sumit. It appears that they have moved over their past and are now in a place where their friendship has developed and been restored. The fact that Sumit's mother has entirely changed her mind is incredibly encouraging. She has accepted the idea that she will not be able to make Sumit break up with Jenny. She will have to accept Jenny if she wants to retain her son in her life. She has since then. Consequently, the two women meet Sumit for a stroll in the park following their shopping excursion. Seeing them embrace like this makes you realize that Sumit might have been correct all along, and they are all truly enjoying each other's company. Did not he refuse to give up hope? He never gave up hope that he might one day get his mother back. He now has both of these women in his life, something he had always desired. Naturally, though, that does not imply that his life is flawless. One thing is still hanging over them, of course. Sumit discloses that he has even been searching outside of the culinary industry out of desperation. I am willing to abandon my career as a chef to pursue any lucrative endeavor, he says. Additionally, we see video of him chatting with his sister-in-law and requesting a position at her marketing firm. Although it is a very modest position, his sister-in-law did offer him a job. He only makes $200 a month from the internship, which is not even enough to pay his rent. As a result of having to turn down that offer, Sumit's situation has become really dire. In fact, he is so desperate for Jenny that he brings up the unimaginable. Do you not already know Jenny Sumit? 5 years ago, she was prepared to retire at the age of 65. Because she does not wish to work, she has been living the retired life. She will not be working. Heck, it did not appear like she put in any effort at her job, even back in America. America. Yes, I do not believe that Jenny will be able to work. Do you? Unless it is a distant work, this woman hardly ever appears to be out and about and does not speak the language. This idea, in my opinion, has no merit. However, Sumit's mother is present and participates in the discussion, so she also supports Sumit and attempts to put more pressure on Jenny. Jenny does not appear to be happy, does she? She says, "That is awful," and prevents herself from losing her mind. She is obviously not thrilled, even though it is fortunate that there are no chairs to hand. She tells Sumit, "This is not the life you promised me. You promised to look after me in India," she says. "What? You expect me to return to the workforce after 5 years of basically being a housewife? Well, this is the problem, is not it? Listen to me. I am aware that they require the funds, am I correct? Apart from that, though, I genuinely believe Jenny would benefit from finding employment. She should leave the house and get out and about, instead of depending just on Sumit to keep her company. She does not seem to lead an extremely hectic life or anything. What is she doing? She has no children to raise and no one to care for. We are aware that she dislikes doing the housekeeping. We are aware that Sumit prepares the meals at home. What exactly does she do during the day? Finding a means to make some money in addition to keeping herself busy would undoubtedly benefit both her and Sumit. It would give her a feeling of purpose and free her from his long hair, something she could do too. Naturally, though, there will be repercussions if she truly decides against doing that. This residence could be taken away from you if you do not work. Then you would better come up with something. Yes, disregard my previous statement. Jenny does not seem like she is going to give in on this one, does she? Reading between the lines of a recent Instagram post that Sumit uploaded, it appears that their financial status has not significantly improved since the incident was captured on camera. I believe his caption was quite informative, even though he shared pictures of them having fun and seemed to be happy together. It said, attempting to enjoy some wonderful moments at a time of scarcity. Based on that hint, I believe they are still in short supply. Maybe Sumit should pick up the phone again and start phoning additional eateries.